Thanks for downloading another episode of The Ugly Truth. Or if it's your first time, welcome. You are now an honorary Ugg, or Hug as we like to say. We really appreciate you listening and supporting the show through our Amazon and Avon links at uglytruth.com. And now, without further ado, The Ugly Truth. It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
I'm bored, I'm indifferent, I'm judgy, I'm super unimpressed by everything.
Paula?
I want to feel the carpet.
Uncensored as always, it's time for The Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. It is episode 216. Happy Thursday. What the hell is my brain? Oh my God. I was going to say happy 4th of July. Weekend.
You're a mess.
God. Oh my God. I'm just, I'm getting old. I'm a relic.
I know.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie with my sister Paula. Two sisters talking about whatever. How are you, Ugg?
I'm okay.
I'm all right. I'm doing all right.
I'm here.
I'm queer. Get used to it. Today is officially, apparently, according to Twitter, which is, we're all assholes with opinions or opinions with assholes. It is social media day. Hashtag social media day. And I'm like, isn't every day social media day? I mean, is there anyone who doesn't check at least one social media outlet per day?
What a dumb day.
It is so dumb. What are we celebrating? I mean, does it bring us joy for real? I don't think it brings us joy per se. I think it just, you feel connected. But I don't know if I would say joy.
I think if I saw someone did hashtag social media day, I'd be like, what?
Isn't that kind of redundant? It's a bit redundant to me.
I wouldn't hashtag that. I wouldn't either. That's weird.
I don't know why. You know what? Social media is being ridiculous. It's just ridiculous in general anyway.
It ebbs and flows. I'll tell you that much. I mean, sometimes I'm, like all over it. The other times I'm just like, leave me alone.
Yeah. It's like the booty call. It's the booty call of electronics.
I'm always watching, but then other times I'm just like, people complain too much.
People complain constantly.
I don't want to watch.
Just like we're complaining now, but it's true. I mean, okay, so Daryl and I did a last minute, we got invited last minute. His dad, my father-in-law, and his wife, they're in the wine business.
Yes.
And so they are invited to Napa fairly regularly. The vendors where they sell their wines, many of them have farmhouses on their vineyards, and they utilize those to entertain clients, and they are clients. And they do really well. And so they get invited fairly regularly to spend weekends in Napa at these farmhouses. And what's cool about these farmhouses is that wineries have buckets of money. And so they're really beautiful. They're old. They've been there since the beginning of the Napa Valley, thing. And so they had a room available, and they had some friends cancel, and they said, "Do you guys want to come?" We're like, "Hell yeah." So made all the arrangements and it's the Franciscan. It's a lovely winery in St. Helena, and they have a beautiful little farmhouse. And so we were able to stay in one of the rooms. Super fun, beautiful property. You're surrounded by vineyards. I mean, it was just so nice.
You're like, can I live here? I just want to wake up this way every morning.
Really, really would.
Really, really would?
Really, really would.
Is there a lot of shiplap?
No. What I was trying to say about it was, and I will segue into this, we were in the car after our first tasting on Sunday morning, and a bee flew into the car, and you don't really think anything. At first we thought it was a leaf. Well, it had landed on Daryl's chest, and he thought it was a leaf, so he went to brush it off, and the bee kind of stuck to his finger.
Oh my God.
And he's like, "It's a bee!" bee. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, did you get stung? Because he grabbed it with both of his fingers and squished its body. And I said, I go, did you kill it? He goes, I did not. It flew away. I go, did it sting you? And he goes, well, my finger feels weird. And I'm like, well, does it feel weird because you're freaking out because you squished a bee's body? Or does it burn because there's a stinger in it? And if it flew away, you didn't get stung because bees, you gut them. They literally pull their guts out when they sting you. And he's like, well, I don't know, check. So I had to check like 3 times. I'm like, dude, your finger's pale. You look like there's nothing wrong with you. There's no bee sting in there, I promise. He's like, oh, all right, well, it felt really weird. I'm like, yeah, you're fine. So this farmhouse, like I said, it's amongst the vineyards. It's really beautiful. Well, when you're in a rural area, even if it's Napa, there are a lot of creatures, bugs, just things that you would expect to find in the country. It is what it is. So at this farmhouse, there was just so many spiders. Like there were so many spiders. Every time I walked into the house, I'm like, there's a spider. And so Daryl must have killed 3 in one day. And I remember there was a bunch of people over. We were having this lovely dinner at this huge farm table. It was so pleasant. And I went to go to the bathroom and I look up and there is the biggest damn spider I've ever seen hiding like under the light fixture a little bit. So it was like halfway exposed. So I went out and Daryl's like, what's the matter? I'm like, there is a huge spider in the bathroom. And when you're sitting on the toilet, what are you going to do? Get up and run out? No. And it's a really high ceiling. I couldn't get it. So he was so nice. He was just drunk enough that he went in there and he killed it. It was awesome.
That was nice of him.
Wasn't it? And so I said, I don't know about this old vintage farmhouse thing. I'm not sure I'm digging it with all the abilities for things to get in the house. Like I'm struggling.
Well, you can have vintage, but you can also have pest control too.
Right. And so then we were sitting outside and I was just sitting there chilling outside in this lovely little courtyard. And sure enough, this little gray creature comes skidding across this path. And I said, there's mice or moles or rats or something in this place.
Oh my God.
Daryl turns around and it is probably a mouse. It grabbed a leaf and ran under this turned over wine barrel. And I said, there's a nest over there. Awesome. And so, of course, Daryl is like kicking the barrel. I go, listen, stop torturing the thing. All right. As long as it doesn't attack me, I'm fine. Just let's leave it alone.
I can handle a mouse or a mice.
Yeah. I don't mind field creatures. Like, we had a mole in our backyard and I hated it, but it didn't bother anybody. It was just destroying our gardens and lawn and stuff. But as long as they're not aggressive, I don't care. Just stay away from me, So I'm like, look, it's grabbing leaves. It's creating a home for something. Just leave it alone. We're here for like 12 hours. Just let it live its life. Then we were playing bocce ball and it got so hot that a lizard literally died on a fence. Like it just died. It like calcified in the heat. It was so, I know. And Daryl goes, hey, there's a lizard. Oh, I think it's dead. It looked like a taxidermist had like, what do you call it when they preserve creatures?
Oh yeah. I don't know.
It looked like somebody killed it and mounted it
on a fence.
On a fence. It was like an alligator lizard. It was so bizarre. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of life going on here.
Yeah, really. What the fuck is wrong with the place?
I'm not sure. Well, it was very old. It was an old property and beautiful. But I'm not complaining.
Nothing that a little bit of pest control can't, or an exterminator,
a little bit of spray it might have solved a lot of these issues.
Jesus, I mean,
I know.
You don't have to live that way. I've seen plenty of shows where they can, get rid of those problems.
Daryl goes, we're going to have to find a sealed home if we move here. I said, no. We just have to find a way to keep things, well, yes, sealed, but yes, pest control, mouse traps, any kind of deterrent that is, legally allowed. We can do all of that. We live in modern times now. We don't have to live with other animals in the home. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. And now, speaking of, we have a rat in our backyard living under our shed. And the dog... Well, my Sheltie Sunny is blind now.
Right.
But he has all of his other faculties. In fact, they've gotten better, so we call him Daredevil. And so Daredevil is constantly trying to get at this rat. The problem is that it's on somewhat of a cement slab, and so there's nothing to get to. The rat is under that, and so we assume that it got in from the behind, on the back by the fence line.
What about Bodega, though? Is he going crazy for the rat?
No. Sonny killed the mole, and Sonny killed rats at the old house. Oh. He's the vermin. Bodega kills the skunks and the possums.
I gotcha.
It's weird that Sonny is just going just ballistic over this rat. Now, Malia saw the rat because it ran and tried to escape, and it ran up a tree on the other side of our property. And I said, well, maybe it won't come back. And it was gone for like 2 days. Sonny was totally peaceful.
Aww.
And starting this morning now, he's attacking the shed again. And we're like, oh my God, this fucking rat. So I said, we have to go to Lowe's and get a rat trap and deal with it, because I can't first of all, I can't have a rat living here.
No, that's
it can't
unacceptable.
Be here. No. And then after that, the snakes are gone. Verdell is gone.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
I know, right? Anyway, way too many bugs in my life. My God, I've had enough. I've had enough of it. Seriously.
God.
And you don't have problems, so that's
well, now
good.
I won't be too worried when I come to your house. Jamie, those snakes really creep me out. I can't handle the thought of it.
No, they're gone.
That you had active snakes in your yard. That's just not okay.
I know, but they're gone now. The mole is gone. No ants. Very few spiders. We had a couple when it got really hot. We had a couple small ones that were coming in to escape the heat.
Yeah.
When it was 110 that one day, Daryl goes, oh, look, there's a ladybug on our curtains in the bedroom. And I said, oh, it's probably just trying to escape the heat. It's just so hot out, even for the bugs. They're just done and over. Mm-hmm. He picks up the ladybug and he threw it outside. I go, did it implode on impact? Because it's 110. You probably just killed that poor thing. My God, why did you do that? It's just a ladybug.
Oh, well. Yeah, we haven't had too many bug problems, but I mean, There's been a lot of bugs outside. We did have one spider in the house, but of course Victor wasn't home.
Awesome. So you're all
Ryan. So I'm the next in line to have to kill it. And
you have to let Ryan do it. Make him kill it.
I try and make him do it, but he's the one where he starts with a good gusto, but as he gets closer to the spider, he gets feeble Rob Lowe arms, and then he can't get enough gusto to kill it, because he'll just tap it, and then it'll still be alive but just maimed, and then it'll
that's even worse,
freaking out, and I'm just like, get it. And once it gets in the carpet, because we kind of have that speckled carpet, you can't see it, you
gotta vacuum.
So I'm just like, come on, I'm like, well, just let me do it. So
wow, you're brave.
I smack the shit out of that thing, so or I'll spray it and it just disintegrates.
Well, you can. That's the Stephanie method. Our sister Stephanie will use chemicals to kill things. No, the other night I'm getting ready to go inside, go into my bathroom to brush my teeth and get ready for bed. And we have this routine now. We're so fucking old. I go upstairs, I brush my teeth, I get the bed ready, I get all settled in with my, because I always play my little game before I go to bed, and, get the TV turned on, and I get all settled in, and I lotion myself, and, get my glass of water, and Daryl's downstairs locking up the house, saying goodnight to all the pets, and, we are, God, we're like old people. It makes me crazy, but...
Yeah, your routine sounds so much like ours, with the exception of a few things.
What?
Well, I mean, our routine is
it's the same. Okay.
Our routine is we turn off all the lights, we pick up the pets, put them on the bed, because Bo can't jump up on the bed anymore.
Aww.
Victor goes to the bathroom. I get in bed. I, turn on my lamp so he can turn off the main light.
Right.
We both get on our phones and we get on our little casino games.
Yeah, you got to play your little game to unwind.
And then I'll turn off the lamp because we have enough lights now, because all the lights are on. And then at some point, one of us will get tired, and
that's the end of that. Yeah. The only difference is occasionally this happens. I don't know if you've ever... I don't know. You probably don't have this because you probably each have lights on your side, right?
No, I have the light.
Okay, I have the light switch for our light. And so I don't know why. Well, because it's been so many years now that I just get irritated instead of just not thinking of it as a big deal and turn over and turn off the light. But I get in bed first because he comes into the bedroom last. So he goes in and does his crap, and then not actually crap, but brushes his teeth and stuff.
He takes a crap and then he comes
and then he comes into the bedroom and he gets into bed. But he never shuts the fucking light off. And he walks right by the switch every night. And it's like, this is one of those arguments that married couples have for the rest of their life. It never, ever ends. It's like a horrible cycle. So I'll sit in bed.
You forgot to turn off the light.
No, so I sit there. So I'm sitting there, and because I am crazy and OCD and all those things, and he's thoughtless, it's a horrible combination because he doesn't realize how furious I am over something so stupid. But I'm sitting in bed and I go, well, I guess I'll turn the light off. It's like the most passive aggressive thing in the world.
Such a mother thing to say.
Well, it's super passive aggressive.
God.
I'm like, well, I guess I'll turn the light off. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, because he's so kind most of the time.
I know.
He'll get out of bed.
He's not being sarcastic either.
No.
I'm sorry.
He's like, I'm sorry, I thought you needed it. I'm like, well, you could have asked me and I would have told you no. The problem with this discussion is that it happens almost every night. Every night he does this. Every night I do that. It's like, why don't we learn? Why aren't we training ourselves to just realize that he can shut the light off and I can just get up and shut it off if he regularly will not shut it off? Like, what's the big deal? I don't understand it. Every day. Every day! It's like my cat shitting in the dining room. Every day! Why can't we learn? It's because we're old. We're just old.
You guys are old cats.
God, I'm an old cat. That's for sure. He's just a dumb lab. I don't know. I really don't get it. But
well, at least you guys are the same age.
Yeah,
I'm the old cat in this relationship.
You've always been the old cat in any relationship.
That's true. It doesn't
Cradle
matter.
robber.
It doesn't matter what age we are.
It doesn't really.
They could be 20 years older than me, and I'm still the old cat.
I was telling that to somebody. We were talking about getting high. I don't know if I told you about that, but Daryl and I we were thinking about eating an edible together just to see what would happen. You and I talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And somebody said, oh, well, did you do it? And I said, you know what? I've been high enough to know how I react to pot. So, I would do it just because Daryl's never, ever had an edible before. And he's curious how he would respond. And he wants to do it in a safe area so that he can't harm himself or others. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll do it with you. And so I said, no, I go, nothing happens to me. I turn into a cat. I'm bored. I'm indifferent. I'm judgy. I just don't, I'm super unimpressed by everything. That's pretty much, it's my true personality coming out full force. That's pretty much all it is. So nothing really happens. You said you get tired and paranoid or something.
I get paranoid and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, what if someone finds out? No. Put your arms around me. Hold me.
We've all been told it's bad. So yeah, that's pretty much. So when I figure now, it's like when I'm high or when I'm tired, that's pretty much the same thing. I get judgy. I'm indifferent. I'm a cat. That's pretty much all it is. Just some Persian cat. Not even a Persian. I'm probably just some kind of muted mutt cat.
I wish I reacted better.
When you were high?
Yeah. I wanted to be one of those fun people that ate Cheetos and, the people I was watching, they were bouncing around on the carpet barefoot and they're just like, this carpet feels amazing.
Well, that would be nice.
Like, I would love it. I want to feel the carpet.
I want to know what joy is. I'd love to know what it feels like to be joyful.
I want to eat the Cheetos.
Yeah, I know. And you're like, never mind. I can't eat anything. I'm just going to sit here.
I'm too scared. The police are coming.
I'm just going to sit here and not move. Can you see me? Seriously.
Right. I'm going to the neighbor's house.
Don't move. Oh my God.
Don't call me.
The Ugly Truth podcast will always be free, so we appreciate you supporting the show by shopping on Amazon via our links on uglytruth.com. Here's Jamie with her Amazon pick of the week.
Hey Hugs, July 11th is the third annual Amazon Prime Day. It's one of the world's best days to shop online. You're going to find hundreds of thousands of deals on everything you're into. Yeah, everything. And the new deals are going to start as often as every 5 minutes for 30 hours straight. And those deals are not limited to just stuff. That includes every platform: video, music, reading, and even voice shopping. Hi, Alexa. So what do you got to do? Well, you've got to start your 30-day free trial if you're not already a Prime member, and then download the free Amazon app so you'll never miss any deal that comes up. You can watch the deals 24 hours before they're live. You can even tap watch this deal, and the app is going to alert you when it's time to go shopping. Duh. As always, thank you so much for supporting The Ugly Truth. Bye!
You can get this deal and literally anything you could ever want from Amazon and support our show at the same time by visiting uglytruth.com/shop. Thanks for helping out the truth. Let's get back to the show.
Okay, so speaking of stuff to do, your daughter is having a birthday this weekend and you didn't even invite her to the party. What happened?
No. So here's the problem. Here's the real problem. Okay. My daughter was born on 7/8/9.
Yes.
Completely unplanned. That particular weekend, her father has to work. And so we will probably do something on her actual birthday when he gets off work. Like, take her to dinner and do cake or something like that. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, he's free this coming weekend. Mm-hmm. And so we were trying to get all of her cousins together, like her younger cousins.
Right.
And go to one of those trampoline places.
Yeah, Sky High or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A place I would never...
ever
try.
No.
When you call them, they're just like, are there any adults jumping? And I'm like, no.
So. Maybe some dads will attempt it, but I would break my leg immediately.
I would be exhausted.
I'd dislocate my knee. It would be a nightmare. No.
It just looks like the exertion of energy that is expelled is so... It just looks so miserable. I mean, it looks like, to a kid, I'm sure it looks fun. But, I mean, you have to swing on ropes and then you land in foam blocks. And then you have to, like, crawl back, and I'm just like, that alone, if I swung on a rope and landed in foam blocks like you know, a good 10 feet out,
that's where you would lay forever.
I would just stay there for the rest of the party.
I'd be like, this is fine for me
until Victor came and got me.
I've had my fun.
And then they have all these like little obstacle courses, and then they have trampolines where they do dodgeball. Doesn't that sound exciting?
That sounds like an injury waiting to happen for me. Because I can just see it.
When did dodgeball become fun? I thought
dodgeball.
I thought everybody hated dodgeball.
No, you know who doesn't hate dodgeball? Those mean kids in school when you would play dodgeball, and the big kids who were super athletic because their parents let them play every sport, and then they would tag people as hard as they could in the back or the ass.
Well, you know who loves dodgeball is your nephew, Ryan.
Of course he does. He's a big galoot. He could take someone out in one swift throw.
And he doesn't mind getting hit, I guess, with a ball.
He probably doesn't even feel it. He's like, what was that, a fly?
Yeah, right.
He probably doesn't even care.
He's so big. So
those dodgeballs, if you get a real strong kid like Ryan to throw it at some skinny little shit, and they'll take their legs right out from under a man. It's funny to watch, but it's not fun when it's you, because it used to be me.
And he usually is one of the last, or like, you know, the few kids left at the end of the game. So
if you remind me, if you're playing dodgeball and you actually catch the ball, are you still out, or do you get to throw it?
No, you catch the ball. The other person's supposed to be out, I think.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then you throw it at, like, you know, another person. So I don't know I think he likes to dodge balls more than he likes to throw them. But
10 years from now, we're going to be talking about Ryan in the NFL.
Right.
He looks like a little baby gorilla compared to all his other friends.
So anyways, the plan was we were going to do that on Sunday, and we were going to get one of their party rooms, and it was going to be, you know, pizza and balloons and, you know, the whole shebang, because it was like 10 kids, all this stuff. Well, unfortunately, almost everybody canceled. And so
no.
So now
because it's the holiday weekend.
I don't know what it is, but
it's true.
So we're still gonna take her to Sky High, and one of her cousins is gonna go. So good. We're gonna do that. One of the other things that she said she wanted to do was she wanted to get a hotel room.
What?
I don't know why.
She's really your daughter.
She really wants to get a hotel room.
And room service.
There's a hotel in Reno. It's a casino, but it's also like the super kid-friendly ones. It's got like a whole floor dedicated to kids.
Which one is this?
It's called GSR.
Oh, okay. It's not part of that strip, right?
No.
Thank God.
No, so it's got like a whole floor where it's an arcade, it's a bowling alley, they've got a movie theater.
Oh wait, you guys did this a few years ago.
Yeah, Brian went there for his birthday. He wanted to go there.
You know what? That's a really cool idea.
So they are so excited.
That's exciting. So, when are you leaving? Next weekend?
We're going to go on 4th of July.
Oh, you're going. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because
you'll see fireworks and everything.
We can't go on her birthday because Victor has to work.
That's right. That's right. Yes,
we're gonna go on 4th of July, and we're just gonna go for the night. And then they have a really cool heated pool, so we'll probably go swimming.
I hope you guys see fireworks.
Yeah, me too. You know, the thing about my kids though is they don't really like fireworks.
Oh, that's right. They don't like the noise.
They do not like the loud noises, and they don't like the bright
noises.
The bright, explosions.
Sure.
And so every time we get fireworks, they always get, they watch them from 50 feet away. Yes.
Well, you know what?
Nothing compares to the year they watched them from inside the kitchen.
No, and you're out there by yourself.
I was out there, and there was a bunch of people on the street watching me light fireworks by myself.
Like, look at that poor sad woman.
They were watching the fireworks.
That's so embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. So I still had to light the fireworks because everybody else was watching. They're like, "Oh, look at those!" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm really putting these on for you."
Oh my
you see those two little faces in the kitchen and up in the house?
That's who this is for
them. And so I'm like, "Get out here!"
So they could give zero fucks about sparklers or anything. They're like, I am not holding fire.
The ones they were most excited about last year were the puppy dump ones.
Oh, Sir Dumps-a-Lot.
Sir Dumps-a-Lot.
Yes.
I don't know if he's back this year.
He is. In fact, Daryl and I did our parental duties as cheer parents. We volunteered and worked 3 hours setting up the fireworks booth for our fundraiser, for our child's fundraising. Mm-hmm. And Sir Dumps-a-Lot has returned. Purple Rain is back.
Yay!
The thing is that every year, because we're not super into 4th of July either, and it might just be us, but even when we would take them to see Cal Expo fireworks, because we used to do that when they were little, we never went into the facility. We were out in the parking lot across the street watching them.
We would always find some side street, like across the river or something like that. Or, we just, that's just how we always do it.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that feeling of being surrounded, and
I don't like not being able to get away.
Me too. I want to be.
That's how I feel.
I want a speedy retreat when I'm done. So, especially with kids and stuff. But anyway, the late Indian summer plan's done, and now we're in the height of summer. Daryl and I are, adulting by drinking wine and killing spiders and meeting great people. And we're also, and I really do love this about summer, I love the summer TV programming.
Yes.
Because it's kind of trashy. It really is like junk food TV. And I really don't mind it because especially when you have kids at home, you're watching a lot of television sometimes, and because there's only so many things you can do in a week before you're like, look, can we just not right now and let's just watch shitty TV? I have to clean the bathroom, or whatever. But it's so indulgent because it's not normal cerebral heavy thinking kind of television.
We have been watching a lot of TV.
Sure.
And the kids do get excited about certain shows that we watch.
Right.
I don't know if there's anything in particular that you guys are watching, but
our viewing is a little bit different than yours. You and I we are so opposite on what we watch on TV. I'm a big fan of HBO, so I watch, Silicon Valley, Veep, Game of Thrones when that comes back in a couple of weeks. But, and then our Netflix viewing is very different. But the shows that I can't even believe I'm telling you this, but the other day I actually watched Counting On. I watched the Duggars. Oh
my God, did you really?
I watched the Duggars show because who's the one that married the jock and named her boy Spurgeon or Spurge, whatever his name is? Jessa is pregnant and had another baby. And so the last hour was her pregnancy. She was 5 days overdue. They didn't know what they were having, and she had a freaking home birth. And I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't stop watching. And Daryl's like, I felt like I got caught watching porn. And I'm like, what are you watching? I'm like, you would hate it. I will change it. He's like, no, you can, watch whatever you want. I'm like, but this is really, it's Duggar shit. He's like, the Duggars, really? I'm like, I can't help it. I don't know. It had been a year almost since I'd watched anything Duggar.
Hi, my name is Jamie, and it's been 1 year since I watched my last Duggar shit.
Exactly. And so I'm watching it, and what happened, honestly, was I got a little taste of it last week. I got like 10 minutes of it last week. Anna Duggar is on the show.
Oh.
And her she has like 4 kids. And then Jill is back from South America.
I think she's expecting another one, by the way.
She is.
Anna, not Jill.
Oh, no. Anna wasn't pregnant in the show, but maybe you're right. I have heard those rumors.
I think she's expecting.
I have heard those rumors. And then Jill is pregnant. And then Jessa was due like any day. And so I was watching it last week. They were at some kind of auction for it looked like a Once Upon a Child store. Mm-hmm. And so they were just buying a crap ton of clothes and stuff, and they all had their little minivans all lined up in a row, and Anna's oldest son fell and hit his head on one of the racks, and he needed like 5 stitches in his forehead.
Oh my God.
And they were all together. That was the weird thing. And they're just like, oh well, accidents happen. You're like, I was just watching him. I felt sorry for her because she felt obviously like any mother would, like she was the worst parent on the planet, that she turned her head for 1 second and her kid fell and he had this huge gash in his face. But, and it was big. His whole head was wrapped up.
Wow.
Like, it was a significant cut. And, they're playing happy music over it, like, oh, all is well. And I'm like, he could be concussed, you guys. Like, what is this?
Right.
So then I watched it the other night, and I watched Jill deliver a baby boy, and they named it Henry. And it was really funny because they're doing the thing where, like, well, they're sitting in front being interviewed by the producer or whatever. And they're like, well, what'd you name it? Well, we named him Henry. Some weird middle name, Fredericksburg or something, Seawald.
So they didn't stick with the S's?
No, they're not doing that, which is nice.
Oh.
And so...
But they're just picking shitty names.
Yeah, and so then the guy that she married, Ben, he goes, yeah, I have a friend named Henry, Hank. And she goes, we're not calling him Hank. And they're doing this on camera. And he goes, Hank's my friend. And she's very quiet. She goes, he's nice. And then it ended. That was the end of the show.
Oh.
And I was like, why am I watching this again? Why am I looking for the cracks in this facade? That's all I watch it for, is to see what they're faking. That's all I care about, is what they're faking. You know what I mean? I don't know why I do it. It's crazy. It's so stupid. But because I know they're faking it. Because we know all of their dirty laundry now. So I know they're not that great.
I hope by not watching it, it will somehow like contribute to the lack of ratings, and then they'll be forced to like not have a show.
Honestly, it's like the Sister Wives thing. I hate those people. I don't know. They're joyless. They're unhappy and miserable. And yet I can't.
I take pleasure in watching that.
That's why I watch it. So that is my one indulgence that I'm ashamed to say that I watch. I don't watch it regularly, but I'm like, I wonder what's going on with those Duggars. And then I am watching it like a fool. But, we're watching Master Chef.
Oh, we're totally watching Master Chef.
Yeah, I got the last end of it. And honestly, they need to send those two horrible people home. They got one out. They need to get rid of that other guy. The one that keep ending up in the bottom.
So Ryan was just like, because he was watching... And I finished watching it in my room because he was on his tablet. And then he's like, so who ended up going home? And I'm like, nobody that really mattered, to be honest. I'm like,
not yet.
I'm like some chunky guy in a button-up shirt and some lady that looked like a bird. So
yeah, and they sent them both home, right? Oh, no, they only sent the girl home.
No, they sent the bird home.
Yeah.
So we have favorites already.
Okay, do tell. I don't.
Our favorites are Gabriel, the little 19-year-old prodigy.
Okay.
He just makes really good stuff. We like Newton. He's the cowboy.
Okay.
We like the cowboy.
Yes.
Who else do we like? We like the guy from Reading, who...
I like him too.
Even though he's a little sassy, I think I'm rooting for him mostly because he's from Reading.
He's local. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Guy.
And he's actually doing quite well. I mean,
he's good.
He's doing well. He's not like that one guy who thought he was Tyler Florence. He got eliminated immediately.
That was so funny.
He was such an asshole. It was so funny.
God,
I'm like,
I don't know what he was thinking.
We were watching it, and in any other circumstance, he's an attractive dude. I mean, he's not my type. I got a vibe off of him from the television. He was a pretty boy. And he clearly had played some football at some point in his childhood because that's all he referenced was football. Mm-hmm. But we're watching it and I'm judgy and I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm like, you know what, Tyler Florence, your looks are not going to get you anywhere in this show. You're on the wrong show.
He did look almost exactly like Tyler Florence.
Yeah, he looked like, I'm like, nah. It's not, unless you are like a phenom, and no one cooks like Tyler Florence. He's like a Bobby Flay.
Right.
So unless you cook like that, you're not lasting long. And based on the way,
who makes a chocolate chip pancake on Master Chef
and puts raw bacon at the bottom of an egg? Someone who doesn't really cook and just wanted some TV time. That
was ridiculous. How did he even get in there? He's an imposter.
He was an imposter. He was a stay-at-home dad. I'm like, what does that mean exactly?
Do you know how many stay-at-home dads applied? And I'm just like, what happened to the world?
I don't know. It was just an odd. I'm just glad he left. And if you notice, no one gave a shit that he left. They're like, bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. He didn't even say goodbye to anybody. They're just like, who? Get out of here.
There was the episode, who should stay, Paige or Jennifer? And I would have been the only one in the balcony that said Paige, because it'd be like, Jennifer's pork chop was raw and she sucked as a captain.
That show is great. I just love it.
I know. So we love that show. So we watched that one very religiously.
Yes.
We're kind of watching America's Got Talent.
Oh, no, I don't watch that at all.
Oh, it's so funny. But here's the thing
I can't deal with people like that. Where is that going to take you in life? Where is that talent going to take you in life besides be on TV for 5 minutes?
Well, see, here's the problem I have with America's Got Talent.
It's a lot of time invested in something.
They pass these people through, and the thing is that you win. If you win the show, you win $1 million, and you win a show in Vegas.
Is a juggler really going to become a millionaire?
So you get to display this show as like people pay to come see you in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And there's sometimes like little kids that come out that have like these great voices and things like that. But I'm just like,
think about that for a minute.
I'm like, do you really want people to pay and come and watch your little girl or your little boy singing in Vegas?
Yeah.
Like, why?
That's a hard life, man. They're thinking of the $1 million.
I guess, or they're thinking that maybe they're just getting exposure, and
probably,
I don't know, or there's other things, like they had a gospel choir up there.
Are you going to pay $55 to sit in a showroom to watch a gospel choir sing for 45 minutes?
Maybe in Vegas they might, actually. I don't know. I mean...
Well, that's what you have to... See, to me, that's how I would be thinking as a judge.
That's how I think. That's how I think when I watch the show.
Right,
you know?
But
and
that's
some
not how they're
acts are legitimate. Other acts are just, bizarre. Like, and some acts I'm just like, is this just one trick pony? Like it's exciting and it's cool. But I mean, this guy's got a pole on his head with his wife at the end and he's spinning her and she's at the ceiling. And I'm just like,
and how long is this supposed to go on?
This is cool, but it's just like, are you going to watch that for half an hour?
At least. I mean, most Vegas shows are at least 50, 60 minutes. I mean, do they have anything else they can do?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's cool. But, after a while, it's just like,
I, on the other hand, am watching World of Dance with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, you're watching the other show. Okay.
I love I love anything with J-Lo in it. But I watched it going, there was a time when I was dancing a lot, and it started with cheerleading and it kind of moved on, and I did it for 4 or 5 years. I really loved it. It was right around when Paula Abdul became a big thing, and she was a Laker girl, and I thought that would be such a great thing to do, and really was into it and choreographing and all that stuff. But my senior year, I was choreographing stuff for our pep squad, so I mean, I really loved it. And so I think that's why I love things like World of Dance, because it's not ballet, it's just any kind of dance.
Yeah.
And so I started watching it, and there's a lot of people who are clearly on the verge of professional, if they're not professional, going to be professional dancers. They'll go to New York or whatever. And there's a thing going on right now where they're really bendy. And so they're like touching their face with their feet, their leg hands. God. And I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, that's just, I'm flexible. That's not a dance move.
Yoga.
Yeah, it's like not even ballet. It's weird to me. So it makes me uncomfortable. And I'm like, and they get high scores and they move on to the next round or whatever. But ultimately they don't win because who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? I know it's amazing. I can't do it. I certainly couldn't bend my leg over to touch my face, nor would I, by the way, ever in a gajillion years. Oh my God. I mean, I remember I watched it happen. I saw this girl do that where she literally took her leg hand and touched her forehead with it, like wiped her face with it.
Oh God.
And I'm like, impressive as far as being bendy. But as far as anything else, I don't think even with my own body, would I want to do that.
Not to mention, do you know how many feet have been on that dance floor?
Oh my God, it makes me kind of sick. I kind of got turned off. And then when I saw another person do it, and here's the other thing, they all dance without shoes on. It's just so unsanitary.
Put on the little ballet slippers or something.
Those little nude socks. With
or
the
whatever
grips.
Those, jazz shoes are.
Anything is better to me than nothing. But, it's just like with anything, dancers have their thing and that's how they do it. And, same with gymnastics. I remember when I was a kid and I took gymnastics classes, I hated that I couldn't wear socks. It was like really uncomfortable. Yeah. I hated it. They're like, you gotta take your socks off. I'm like, do I though? Do I really? And I remember I tried to do the balance beam with socks on and it did not work. I ultimately had to take them. I have a photo of Dad. Dad took a picture of me on the balance beam with socks on. I fell off. So is there anything? Okay, so you and I talked about briefly. There's a new show. Did you find? I can't find anything. Did they take it off? It's Little and Big or something like that. What is it called?
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
It says, little people suffering from morbid obesity embark on a weight loss journey led by fitness guru and fellow little person Allison Worrell. But the challenges of being little in an average-sized world make the task nearly impossible. And the episode 1 is called Don't Want a Freak Show. And then the other one is Wider Than I Am Tall. Those are the episodes. Oh my God. Okay. Why is this happening in life? Why is this happening?
Well, that's why I was telling you. I couldn't believe that they were making another show.
About little people. What is the obsession? Wow.
Well, and especially,
I think this is why I think it's exploitive. And I'll say it's the very first sentence. 1 in 40,000 children is born with dwarfism, 1 in 40,000 children. So that's a teeny tiny segment of the population, especially if you're just in the United States. So to create an entire show about that, and okay, so 1 in 40,000 is born with dwarfism. How many of those are morbidly obese to the point of unsafe, like ridiculously unsafe, morbidly obese? So now that's an even smaller amount of people. So to me, the only reason you're putting it on a show or making it a show that anyone can see online or on television is you're exploiting it. Like, look at the freaks.
Yeah.
Look at how fat and tiny they are. And to me, I mean, I don't even actually find it hilarious. I don't find it funny at all, actually. TLC, the little carnival, is exactly what it is. And I feel like they're really doubling down. And I don't know what their obsession is with dwarfism. I really don't. Oh, speaking of dwarfism and trashy TV, I saw, the guy that plays the dwarf in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I can't remember.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is going to play. He's in it's already done, I believe. He is playing who's the guy that goes, the plane from Fantasy Island?
No, he's not, is he?
Yes,
really?
he is. Yes, he is. He killed himself, that guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he shot himself. I had no idea. I didn't know how he died.
Are they remaking Fantasy Island?
No, he's doing a biography, like a made-for-TV movie about him.
Oh.
And his life. I think he was Venezuelan or something. I mean, I'm assuming that the script is good because Peter Dinklage is an accomplished actor. Quite accomplished.
Way good, yeah.
And, he's on the verge of an Oscar nomination. I mean, he's really a great actor. And I mean, I've found him, he was an elf, and shockingly he wasn't an elf. And what's so funny, do you remember that scene, right? Where he's like this badass boss.
Oh my God, he was so scary.
He's like, you're an elf. He's like, call me an elf one more time. I mean, it was great. It was a great scene.
That was so funny.
And then obviously Game of Thrones. But I mean, to me, it's like, that is how someone with dwarfism, he's just so talented. That is not exploitive. That is someone who's very good. I know you haven't
seen the movie Pixels, but he was in that too, and he was really good.
I actually saw the last 15 minutes of that movie, and it wasn't ideally, it's not going to win any awards, but it had its merit for sure.
Well, the good thing about his role in that is it's not even like acknowledged.
That he's small?
Like he's just a person.
Yeah. Well, he is just a person.
Well,
he's
what
just
I'm
short.
saying is that most cases, somehow it's like, acknowledged or it's mentioned or, something comes up about it.
So they go the opposite way and act like he's not small.
Actually, he's like one of the bad guys in this movie.
Oh, you know what movie he was also in? If I'm not mistaken, he played Melissa McCarthy's lover in it's not Tammy. Maybe it was. No. It was that movie with with Kristen Bell. I can't remember the name of it. I watched it on TV. It was really funny. And he's in love with Melissa McCarthy, but he's a bad guy. It's hilarious. Very funny. So yes, he's very good. So about this movie about portraying this guy, well, I'll have to look it up and give you the name of it. I really don't know. I mean, I swear to God, it is happening. I swear I saw it. There's no way it's a joke. It's for real.
No, it's like a biography or...
Yes. And it's probably a very compelling story, which is why and if anybody can understand the struggles of being a celeb and being a little person, it would be Peter Dinklage. So anyway, really. Well, speaking of nothing, let's do our ugly and awkward moment of the week.
I don't know why we had flipped to this channel, but I think we're gonna watch the show that was coming on after.
Okay.
So there was only like 5 minutes left. They were showing like the last 5 minutes of Toy Story 3.
Oh, just enough to make you sob.
And so I was sitting there and I was watching him, and he was giving the toys to the little girl, you know.
Oh, yes.
And then he's just like, and he pulled out Woody, and then he's just like, oh, and so she went to go grab him. He's like, whoa. And he like held Woody close, and he's just like, well, this one's, you know, an important guy, you know. And so I'm sitting here watching this, and then all of a sudden I'm just like tearing up, you know. And then before I know it, they're like playing, and like, you know, and then he's driving off to college and all this stuff. And then like at the end, I'm just like sobbing.
Yes.
And Ryan sits next to me, and he like puts his hand on my hand. He's like, Mom, are you okay? So I'm just like, no, I'm not okay.
Anyone else than that you would tell them to go away and leave you alone. But when it's your child and they're looking at you.
My son, he's just like, are you okay, Mom? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. And well, I've been crying all week. There was like this dog commercial the other day where it shows this little boy, and he's packing up a car. Yeah. And then the next thing they show him closing the trunk, and he's grown up, and then he hugs his parents, and he's going off to college, and then he bends down and pets the dog.
Oh, I know which one that is.
And the dog has like silver hair.
It's old now.
Yeah, it's like old.
Yes.
And then so I start crying when I see that one.
I told you that I started crying in bed a couple weeks ago. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Okay, so you know the movie Up.
The God.
Horribly tragic first 8 minutes of Up will slay any
where
adult.
She has a miscarriage and everything. And I'm like, Disney, come on.
I mean, and then she died. Okay, so there's the girl, you know, where I go to get my hair done, there's another hairdresser there that the girls go to because he's equally as good, but he's just a little less expensive. Mm-hmm. So the girls get their hair done by him, and I'm friends with him on Facebook. And his sister had posted, it said, if you can get through the first 8 minutes of this, you're not human, or something, without crying or something. And so he had just liked it. And I can see when he likes something occasionally. And so I saw it and went, oh, I love this movie. So I pressed play, and I'm sitting in bed watching it going, oh, this is such a great movie. And, you know, it's really cute and everything. And then suddenly they're getting old, and she's struggling to get up the hill. So he turns around to pick her up, and then she falls. And then she's in the hospital room, and I start bawling. Mm-hmm. I mean, weeping. And Daryl goes, what's going on? Right. Did someone die? What are you reading? And I'm like, I can't talk right now. He's like, what's happening? It was 7:15 in the morning, Paula. It was 7:15. I'd had 2 sips of coffee. I was barely coherent. And I mean, and you know when you cry in those tears that like they're real sad tears, they're different. Yeah. That was happening to me. And I said, I'm sorry. I was watching Up. He's like, oh, yeah. He knows immediately. And I'm like, I have to stop watching this. So anyway, I totally get it. Yes. And it does suck, but what are you going to do? Yeah. What are you going to do? So, you're an Ugg.
I don't know. I was
cry about toys.
We were just waiting for the next show to start. That's all it was. But, you know.
Well, you know, Toy Story 3 has a special place in my heart.
Oh, so I know.
It's hard for me not to acknowledge, you know, that scene. Well, actually, the scene that made me cry in Toy Story 3, Tyler had decided to go up to Humboldt for school after he graduated from high school, and we were at the hotel. We had just moved him into his dorm room, and we were all hanging out in the hotel room watching Toy Story 3. And it's the scene where the mom comes into his bedroom, and it's empty because he's all packed up to go to school. And she walks in, she goes, you know, and she gasps because, you know, it's over, and I go, and Tyler's like, what's happening? And I'm like, you don't even understand. You just don't understand. Like, I hate my life. I hate it. Because then you realize that they're old, and you're like, childhood has ended. You know, and it's so sad as a mom. It's so sad. And of course, you know, Daryl, he starts, you know, rubbing his hair and trying to figure out what to do. And then, you know, look at me once. I'm like, don't look at me. You know, it's just like, leave me alone. Let me cry in peace. We're so weird. We're so weird. I hate it. I don't want comfort when I'm crying. Is that the weirdest thing ever? You're like that too, though, right?
Well, the thing about me is I usually start crying, but I hope nobody notices, you know?
Yes.
Like I try and cry quietly because I just don't want it. Like I'm like, it'll pass.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, before I know it, everybody in the room is staring at me. I'm like, what?
I hate that so much. I hate it so much. When I'm sitting there, I will like barely wipe a tear because I don't want Daryl to see, because he'll turn and start looking at me. I'm like, stop looking at me.
I know. Victor will stare at me and
it makes me want to poke you in the eye. Knock it off.
And I'm like, and I'm not even crying. My eyes are just glassy.
Yes.
Because
like,
he'll know whatever happened on TV might have made me like upset. So he'll just like look at me.
I think what it is I hate that I'm predictable and that they know that waterworks are coming. That just makes me angry.
Yeah.
It makes me mad. I don't know what it is, but we're weird. So, well, all right. So that's a weird, ugly moment, but
yeah,
it was ugly. If you remember the other one, you can share it, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it.
Okay. Anyway, so like I said, Daryl and I went to Napa for an afternoon overnight, quick overnight trip. And we were sitting at our final wine tasting. It was a beautiful winery. I can't remember the name of it right now, but we were just sitting there, and when you do a wine tasting, especially when you're with a vendor, they pull out like five wines, because what they're trying to do is say, hey, you should be stocking this wine in your store. And so she brings out like 5 or 6 bottles of different wines. And so with that, you have 4 or 5 glasses in front of you, and all different sizes. And there was 6 of us. So we're sitting at this big, beautiful table, and she's telling the story about how this winery became what it was. And she had a picture of one of their first award-winning bottles on her phone, because she had been to their facility and was able to take a photo of this award-winning Chardonnay or something. So she's passing it around. I, unfortunately, and I never really talk about it because I don't like to ruin anybody's day or anything, but I had a migraine.
Oh.
So I had pretty much stopped drinking wine at the last place because I had taken an Imitrex and I was drinking a crap ton of water. And when it gets to its crescendo, I'm nauseous, I'm light sensitive. I mean, I can't listen. And so I stopped paying attention. And so I was just sitting there counting down the minutes when we could go home. Like, I wanted to leave. So, but I'm trying to enjoy and everything. So there were passing this phone along, and everybody has 5 big wine glasses in front of them. And except for me, most people had tasted all the samples. And so they passed me the phone. Now, my father-in-law, Gary, passes me the phone. I think it's his phone, and he's showing me a bottle that he took a photo of. So I'm looking at it going, oh, that's so interesting. And I'm totally not aware of what this is or why I'm looking at this bottle of wine. Mm-hmm. I put the iPhone down and I slide it back to him, because we're like on the opposite sides of the table.
Yeah.
And I bowled it into hard 5 wine glasses.
Oh my God.
And luckily nothing broke, but it went ching, really loud and bowled over. And Gary's like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, what? He goes, it's not my phone. And the lady that's sitting next to me, she goes, that's my phone. I went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what we were doing. I apologize. And so this is the second time I've made a scene at a table tasting. It is so embarrassing, because it's not the same as when you're like standing along a bar having someone pour for you. They're literally telling you the intricate story, the details of every wine you're tasting. It's very formal. And I almost broke 5 glasses, and actually one knocked right into his chest. It's that I pushed it that
my God.
hard. So he gives me the phone back. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I can't, I'm not good at apparently. I'm not good at table tastings. And it's like, I'm just a mess. I'm so sorry. And they were like, and then what made it worse is we all moved on. And then I'm thinking about what a fool I am, and I start laughing in the middle of nothing. I did this snort laugh. I went like that, like really. And Daryl was in the bathroom. He missed all of it. And so
God.
He comes back, and I'm like, oh my God. And I think his dad even said, he goes, hey, you missed the show, like you missed the big thing. I'm like, oh no. And he's like, I can't even leave to go pee. Like, what is that? I said, I don't want to talk about it. It's just so embarrassing.
Oh my
I do that every time.
definitely win this week.
Do you know that we have not awarded a winner for like 3 weeks?
You know what? I did think about that. I don't know why.
Goes, you didn't award a winner.
Decided to move along, or
I don't know. They've been kind of minimal, I guess. I mean, sometimes we have epics and then sometimes they're just like average. Like everyone goes, oh yeah, I've done that a million times. It's like, well, then you're awkward too. And you're listening to the show, which means, yes, you understand.
Well, we just forgot. Well, we'll get back to it then.
Yes.
Starting today. Will. And
starting today.
Win.
Thank you. Woohoo!
You win the awkward moment of the week. But really, is it being a winner? I don't know.
No. Not really.
So, well, I guess that's a wrap. So thanks everybody for joining us this week. I hope you have a very happy 4th of July. Do lots of fireworks or attend a show or sit at home and do nothing. Whatever makes you happy. Be proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be an American.
Where at least I know I'm free. I'm free. Yes.
So
God bless,
put on the old Lee Greenwood.
USA.
We will see you next week. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
That's a wrap. But make sure to watch your podcast feed for all the screw-ups and edits from this episode and what we call Ugly Cuts. And then we'll have a brand new full episode for you next week. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.